Bruce Hill, New Skills New You. Welcome to the Eliminate Discovery Calls webinar. I'm going to give you all the short version today. I'm just continuing to practice and focus on the feedback I receive so it's more and more valuable for you and your businesses. So as we jump in, I'm getting the slides. Eliminate discovery calls does not mean we don't talk to clients. All right. So let me just make that clear. That's probably the first thing. Eliminating discovery calls meaning getting more time on your calendar for what's important. And if we are talking to someone, whether it's phone, Zoom, I don't recommend face-to-face these days. It's tough to scale, but maybe you're selling life insurance or your mortgage. This will still help you. So what we want to do is make sure those conversations are purposeful. All right. So if you are a service-based business, I'm talking to my trainers. I'm talking to realtors. I think I mentioned insurance brokers, coaches, all my life coaches, business consultants, sales trainers. Sales trainers should love this. It'll be easy for them to adopt. This is for you. Now, if you don't have a sales team yet, this is perfect because what I want to teach you today is how to automate part of this and then delegate the rest. So you can use this to build your sales team, right? You can use this in order to get you off the phones and eliminate discovery calls from your task, from your to-do altogether. So if that sounds like something you are would be interested in, like, yeah, you know what, Bruce, I got to get off the phone. I've got more important things to do. Then you are in the right place. Let me pull this up. No, present. I'm going to share my screen. Boom, let's rock and roll. So I won't take 40 minutes. This is actually pretty straightforward. The goal is I want you to have a framework to eliminate discovery calls from your business and increase your revenue and your free time. Okay. So if I accomplish that, this will be considered a success. I know you've been on lots of webinars, right? And they all promise some fancy outcome, right? And then they talk all around it and they don't give you anything useful. And of course, we'll sell you something at the end. Now, my goal is a little bit different. I want to give you everything you need of what to do. If you need help with the how, there will be opportunity to work with me moving forward. But even if you say, you know, Bruce, I'm not ready to invest, this webinar is designed so we can help put some more white space on your calendar. So we can give you back some free time and increase your revenue. So if that sounds good, all right, let's keep rolling. I want to teach you how to automate, how to use technology to fire yourself. That's so cool. I'm recording this in 2022. I had to think about it. It's been a long year. And I'm like, man, how do I use technology to make my life easier? A lot of times we use it makes our lives harder. That's the wrong direction. Number two, I want you to delegate. This is where I'm guilty of. A lot of small business owners, the majority of them actually, are sole proprietors, right? It's just one person. Less than five is pretty common. Or we're talking about our solar entrepreneurs. We have to divorce our value from our labor. And we want to learn how to systemize our business so we can delegate it. We can delegate it, we can scale. You can't scale one person. You know what? It's not a business development course specifically. This is technically a sales training. But that's one thing that's really important to me. I want you to grow a business, not grow busier. Okay. Ooh, that's a good one. Write that one down. Grow your business, don't grow business. Sometimes we know how that is. We get a new course, we get a new project, we get a new client, we just end up busier and busier and busier. I want to teach you how to delegate in order to get less busy More money, less busy. All right. Number three is structure. You have to have a structure in order to delegate effectively. Every now and then you'll find a rock star who figures it out on their own, but you have to have a structure in order to delegate. That's going to make sure it's done and done correctly. Number four, hear yes more often. Oh man, this is one of my favorite trainings I do. I actually have a whole training on hearing yes more often. But we'll give you the highlights. So okay, you got them on the call. We've automated the discovery call process. We're 89% sure they're here to buy. How do we make sure they say yes? How do we make sure we don't talk them out of it? Okay. And number five, look, not everyone's going to tell you yes. Okay. If I told you that, I'd be lying to you, but I like you. I'll tell you the truth. Somebody's going to tell you no. So we want to save a lot of energy. I don't want you convincing anyone. I want you to spend more time doing what you love, being your authentic self. But I'm going to help equip you for when they say no, when they say not yet, when they say I need to think about it. All right. Let's keep going. So I talked about service based businesses. If you're that tired coach, you spend more time taking calls than you do coaching. Oh man, right? Because you're talking to people who aren't saying yes. If you're that busy trainer, your calendar is full of these admin tasks where you're being busy but not productive. Okay, this is for you. If you're frustrated with hearing no, right? They tell you everything but yes, right? No, I got to think about it, got to sleep on it, I got to pray about it, I'll get back to you. That gets old. So if you're frustrated with hearing you're getting clients on the calls, right? You're getting in front of the right people, but you're not hearing yes. This is for you, right? So before you zoom out, tune out or sign off, a lot of folks they say, "Hey, wait a minute, this sounds like a sales training." I don't want you to be a salesperson. I don't want you to be a killer closer or master manipulator. That's myth number one. We want to get out of your head right now, right? You do not have to be a salesperson for this to work. In fact, it's better if you're not. And you have less bad habits to unlearn. Okay. Number two, you don't have to be pushy. We'll talk about this when we discuss what to say when they say no. I don't want you to be pushy. I want you to be your authentic self, but the authentic version of you that earns more money. Okay. Number three, you have to close calls yourself. That's false. The whole point of this is to eliminate something from your calendar. The whole point of this is to make sure you are having more time and more revenue. Okay. So I don't want you to taking these calls yourself unless you just absolutely love it. Maybe you have a little extra time. I do this from time to time. I'll look at the questionnaire and I'll explain that portion to you. And I'll say, you know what, this may not be a good fit, but I'll go talk to them, and that helps me continue to find out what those clients are needing. So we need to create a new product or service for them where we can help them better. All right. Number four, myth number four, you have to be a fake version of yourself. I said it before, I say it again. I want you to be the authentic version of yourself. Your business runs better when you are being you. Okay. And number five, one of my favorites myths: introverts can't sell. Well, I think introverts will love this because they're like, man, I can get rid of these discovery calls. And they probably clicked on it and said, man, how do I get to be one of those people that can get the new clients without having to talk to them? All right. Oh, I'm sorry about that. There we go. So for my introverts, you're good luck. I want to make sure you're talking to less people as possible. And part of the workshop, again, I'll have a chance for you to sign up for that at the end of this. Part of the workshop is showing you, hey, how do we spend less time talking to clients, but more clients are signing up? All right. If that sounds like the magic formula for you, hey, you're in the right place. So real quick, oh, almost forgot to introduce myself. I'm Bruce Hill, affectionately New Skills New You. I've been in sales in some shape or form for the past 2 decades. Okay. I have been learning, I've learned all the wrong things to do, and we're not going to teach you those things, and the right things to do. And I've had some success while I've had it. Earned President's Club twice, actually. I was top in the region for a B2B company, earned some rewards for building systems and processes and a SaaS company, and on and on and on. Now I'm taking those skills, all the experience, and I'm bringing them to you all so you can get there a little faster and a little easier. Fun facts about me. Oh man, I'm on my third passport. I love to travel. That's why this is so important to me. I'm not just telling you this because I read about it in a book. I heard about it in a seminar. I really sit around and think about, man, how can I spend less time on the phone and more time traveling? So I love traveling. That's probably where this training came from. And that's why I believe discovery calls are really a waste of time. If you have a specific problem you solve, you don't need to discover a whole lot for the client. You only need to know three things. Do you have the problem I solve? Do you want to keep the problem? And then how badly are you willing to get rid of it? All right, that's it. That's all I need to know. And so we spend time on these 15-minute discovery calls, and they turn into 43-minute impromptu coaching calls, and they do not turn into clients. They do not turn into new revenue. So I believe discovery calls are a waste of time. We have to use our time much more intentionally. So we're going to use automation to accomplish that. All right. Many of the things that you do frequently, repetitively, can be automated using tools listed below. Remember, unless you own a call center, you are not a call center. So the first thing I need you to stop doing is telling people to call you. You know what? I just thought about this. Saturday I was in a workshop, and she just gives clients her number. She doesn't even schedule them on the calendar. I was, oh my goodness. Do not do that. You are running a business, okay? And a business is not going to grow if you are the bottleneck. So we've got to have a calendar set up. You can use Gmail, you can use Outlook. That's good. I'll tell you what's better is some automation. We can use Calendly. That's what I use. Shout out to the founder. I believe he lives in Atlanta. Gotta love Atlanta. Just produces some different entrepreneurs. Love that. It has an intake questionnaire. So this is step one. So if you're taking notes, this is step one for eliminating discovery calls. You want to have a set of questions. I recommend no more than 10. Okay. This isn't a college application. Right? You want to have a set of questions that they need to ask before it takes them to the booking page where they can get on your calendar. And what this does, this effectively eliminates discovery calls because you can read it and you can say, "Hey, this is the perfect person I want to talk to." And we'll discuss this in the workshop. If you want to sign up for some one-on-one support, hey, what questions am I asking? Great, we'll tailor those questions for your business. It's tough to just give you 10 random questions because everybody's different. So, so they click on the link. First of all, they're not calling you, they're not texting you, they're not going back and forth. Till Tuesday at 2 p.m. No, what about Thursday at 1 p.m.? We're not doing that. It automates the process so they can click on your link day or night. It doesn't mess up time zones, right? It's going to ask them those questions, maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 questions, no more than 10. And then it's going to give them some available times on your calendar. They'll get an invite, you'll get an invite. And now we're talking about next steps. We're not talking about like, so how was your day? How long have you been in business? Are you currently trying to increase your revenue and build a better sales process? I already know what problem I solve, so those questions are almost redundant. They're almost superfluous, ancillary, whatever word you want to use. I need to know if you have the problem I solve. So when we get on the phone, we just need to talk about next steps. And I'm going to teach you what to say in that part. So now we're not discovering, we're offering a solution. In fact, if you go to my page, brucehill.online, it's my calendar page, the first call option is solution call. And it has questions in there that I need to know before we hop on a conversation that I need to discover before I talk to you. So I save so much time. And some people, I give them the link and they look at it and they don't book a call. And that's fine. That's fine because the questions are designed to remove the wrong people and attract the right people. All right. So we use Calendly to do that. There's some other tools. I have those listed out in the digital course that comes as a bonus for the workshop attendees. But that's my favorite one. That's the one I use. So that's what I'm going to recommend to you. Now, what I do is I look at the list of questions and I say, okay, this is a good fit. I'll take the call. If I look at it and say, this is not a good fit, then I will send them an email with a recommendation. Hey, here's where you need to go next. JotForm and Google Forms can automate that for you. So JotForm particularly has what they call branches. So if they say yes to this question, it goes this way. If they say no to that question, it goes that way. So it kind of saves you that manual step. I'm still hands on enough where I can do it manually, but as I continue to have more and more appointments, I've used this for clients actually, which is funny. I may begin to use it more for my own business. Just being transparent. I don't teach you anything I haven't done or am not doing. And Google Forms is great for more complex solutions. For example, if you're a power washer, you want to know some square footage, how many stories it is. That could be some more long form answers. And then you can have someone call them back at their convenience. So, some different ways to automate. So, right now, if you lost connection, your battery dies, you got to go. Maybe the kids are hungry. That's the number one thing you can do today to eliminate discovery calls is stop giving out your phone number randomly, getting random calls from numbers. I got a call from 504 uh, today. I said, man, who's calling me from Louisiana? Let me see what else I get. I think someone's giving out my number. I had a 510. I know that's California. I had a 916 call. And so somebody's giving out my number. I might have to need a new number because my clients, they got to go through the booking link. And I want you to do the same for your clients. It makes you look more professional. It saves you time, energy, and effort, and those are expensive. All right. Let's keep rocking and rolling. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat. Confidence is key. Oh man, this is an intangible, but this is why New Skills New You. It's a sales consulting firm, but we take a different approach. I know that if we can help improve who you are, we improve everything about your business. I know if we can help you grow, we can help your business grow. So the next thing is we've looked at the checklist and say, yes, this is someone I need to talk to. Let's talk about next steps. You have to sound confident in their solution, confident that you can solve their problem. If you're not confident, how can they be confident in you? How can they be confident in the solution you provide? How can they be confident in the value you add? So when I say confidence, this is something that is tough to just right go buy a bottle. You can't go to Publix or Food Lion and get you 16 ounces of confidence. Confidence comes from practice. And again, some of you are going to take this, you're going to run with it. That's great. Some of you need some extra help. Not a problem. We have a digital course, we have a workshop set up in place. So you don't have to figure it out on your own. One of the biggest things we do is practice. The more times you work on offering your solution, the more confident you'll be. The more confident you are, the more people will tell you yes. Now, in order to get consistent results, you have to have a consistent process. Okay? So, a process, big picture, is having the automated tool, having your questionnaire, is having a follow up process. That's a sales process. But in a micro process is on that call, on that Zoom call, on the phone, that scheduled phone call, mind you, right? That you call from the business number. Say, hey, what do we need to go do every single time in order to get consistent results? So mine sounds something like this. Hey, thank you so much for scheduling a call. I appreciate you sharing part of your day with us. You mentioned on the questionnaire that you wanted to know about XYZ. Is that correct? I say, yeah, absolutely. I have to ask that question every now and then. They'll just say, "Oh, I selected that one because I didn't see 4, 5, 6, 7." I'm like, okay, and I'll handle it from there. So then I say, "Great. I want to know where they are now, whether and again, this is going to be tailored to your client, right? How long they've been in business, how long have you lived here? When's the last time you had your house power cleaned, right? When's the last time your driveway was power washed, right?" And I like to ask them, who have you worked with in the past? Okay. I'll ask them, what did they like about that person or company? What do they did not like? Right. Then I ask them about their desired result. We go into this much more detail. If I'm going too fast, no worries. We go into much more detail during the workshop. I ask them about their desired result. Where do you want to go? The bigger the gap between where they are and where they want to go, the more they're going to be willing to pay, and the sooner they're going to be willing to pay. All right. So the bigger the distance between their current situation and their future aspirations, the better. Okay. And so then you say, well, what's stopping you from making that future aspiration your present reality? They'll tell you this is where you go into problem solving. And what introverts love this is because it's just you asking a bunch of questions, right? You don't have to memorize a script. You don't have to go get a law degree to negotiate. No, 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 no. You're just asking them questions. And this is something I want to emphasize so much. The clearer you understand the problem, the more clear the solution will become, and the more clear the decision for your client, your future client, say yes, right? Okay. So the clearer you understand the problem, clearer the solution is, and the clearer the decision for your client is to say yes to work with you. So they're going to tell you, man, you know what, Bruce, I've tried this, I've tried this, I've tried this, or I don't know what to try. I don't even know where to start. This is where you offer to solve their problem. Say, hey, this is where we turn a discovery calls into closing calls. You say, Mr. or Mrs. Client, I can help you achieve your goal. How do I know what their goal is? Because I asked them. By one, two, three. Does that sound like the solution you were looking for? They're going to say, yes. Oh my God, I need this. I need to get off the phone, Bruce. I'm tired of these wasted time discovery calls. I'm tired of giving out a number. I get random calls at all hours of the day. I need some help. Okay, great. We can do that in a very simple way. Here's the solution. Look, we do a live workshop, virtual workshop. You can ask all the questions you want. And you have access to the digital course so you can go back and review it at your convenience. Hey, would you like to use debit card or should I send you an invoice? Boom. I don't want you all to be killer closers, master manipulators, or nasty negotiators. No, I want you to be authentic self that earns more revenue. That means solving problems. That means confidently giving them the opportunity to work with you. Not begging them, not pleading. We just say, hey, look, I can solve your problem. Do you want to work with me? Yes or no? We can go get into some more, mm, what's the word I'm looking for? Some more complicated tactics. But at the end of the day, if you put this into practice, I'm confident it will increase your revenue. Those 5 steps I went over, I don't know if you caught them. I may have to add an extra slide in the future. Those 5 steps I mentioned are called the question path. I need to patent that or trademark, copyright, doesn't matter. Those 5 steps are a gentle guide so that the potential client moves from interested to invoice. And I said it on the last slide, I'll say it again. Consistent process creates consistent results. It can be duplicated. That means I can take a new hire and say, hey, listen, do this, and you should get this result. Right? It can be delegated. I can get 5 people. Like, look, when a customer comes on, you follow this question path and then sign them up. So now I've removed myself from the sales process altogether. So now I have lots of white space on my calendar and I can let the team handle those calls. And they're no longer just discovery calls, they're closing calls. Now, some of you are saying, Bruce, I use discovery calls to screen clients before they go talk to my sales team, my closing team. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that most businesses can eliminate that altogether. That's my argument. I've done it several times for myself, from entrepreneurs, small businesses, to SaaS startups. Most of the time, you automate this portion. There's a few very complicated solutions where it does require a live person. I'll admit that. For most of you all, though, you're not OEM if you're not building software, writing software for someone, custom software. You can eliminate discovery calls from your process and then turn any call into a closing call by having those questions answered before you talk to the potential client. But what happens? What happens, Bruce? All right, that sounds good. Turn discovery calls into closing calls. That's kind of catchy. What happens if they say no? And this is something I need to automate for my business. I actually had a call. Oh man, I don't even know if it was 2 days ago, where they're helping me with some automations so that if that person says anything other than yes, let me get my card, they automatically get some email follow ups with some education, and email and text with some education, with some next steps, with some expectations, and of course, a call to action. I need to automate that part for my business. I have a process, but it's not automated. Again, just being transparent. So I understand that not everyone will tell you yes. You before you let them off the phone or the call, you need to check three things. Is this the right fit? Uh, One of my favorite stories. We went to visit my friend's mom, and she was kind enough to cook breakfast for us. And my buddy was like, "Man, I can't eat this." And she said, "Well, I cooked this too. Do you want to try this?" He said, "No, I can't eat that either." And she said, "Well, what about this?" I said, "No, I can't eat that either." And she said, "Well, what do you want to eat?" He said, "Well, I'm allergic to pork. Allergic to pork." So it's not that her cooking was bad. Actually, she's a phenomenal cook. And I don't even eat pork anymore. But I remember the story clearly. Sometimes that person may not be the right fit for you or your business, and that's okay. I recommend I have some good referral network. Send them to someone that might be a better fit for whatever reason. Do they want to work with you? Now, this one hurts. This one can feel uncomfortable, but sometimes people have a preference. It has nothing to do with your experience or your ability or even your confidence in your solution. Um, these people generally, I don't convince them. I let them go find who they're looking for. And then the third thing is, are they able to work with you? Right. And you see these do overlap. They do. Are they able to work with you? Some people just can't afford the solution that you're offering. Right. If you are, if you especially have a premium product or service, some people just don't have the funds to work with you. They may be the right type of customer, but they aren't the right customer if they can't afford to work. I like to, this is a whole nother training. I like to have done with you, and then I'll do a DIY option. So those people still have a chance to get closer to their goals. So those are three questions I need to ask. Hey, okay, my questionnaire should have eliminated this, but is this the right fit for this person? Right? Does the problem I solve match the problem they have? Okay. Do they want to work with you? Sometimes they just don't like you because they just don't like you. You're still very valuable. Don't take that personally. That's agreement number two. And then are they able to? Now, if you're offering a product or service, let's just say it's $10,000, and that person that you're working with is a brand new business, less than 5 months open. They haven't gone green yet, or I should say, haven't made a profit yet. The personal credit's 500, no business credit. Hey, they just may not be able to afford it. It would help them a lot, but they just may not be able to afford it. So that's where again that DIY option can come in handy or payment plans, but I leave that up to you. This is about eliminating discovery calls. Now, let's say what's the difference? Let me put it this way. What's the difference? When I talk about eliminating discovery calls, you say, well, Bruce, you're just renaming them. No, 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 no. Closing calls have a specific purpose. These calls are designed to create new clients and I'm gonna put new revenue. I gotta emphasize that. And new revenue for your business. Okay. You have a target, focus on one solution, and they're revenue generating. Why is it important to focus on one solution? Ooh, I'm glad you asked, Bruce. Sometimes I've seen this where people, or my clients, right, before they work with me, they'll have 4 or 5 things that they can do. But that's where the questionnaire comes in. You could put those 4 or 5 things there on the questionnaire and say, hey, if you could only pick one, which one's the most important? Then when you get on the closing call, you'll ask them, hey, why is this one most important? Again, let's go backwards, right? Is this the right fit? Maybe they do need um, option A. They selected option B. They don't know any better. You're the expert. You can help educate them. But what's beautiful about eliminating the discovering call, you already know their top priority before you talk to them. So you don't have to spend time discovering where to start. You don't have to spend time describing all five of your programs, products, services. Now, instead of an hour-long call that leaves them confused, and write this down, confused people don't buy. Instead of becoming a impromptu coaching call that doesn't turn into a client, now we have one target and we focus on one solution. So now we're not doing discovery calls anymore. Now we're doing closing calls. They're revenue generating calls. That's why they're called closing calls. That's the difference. Discovery call, we have conversation, we introduce ourselves, and we set a next step. No, if we're going to take time out of my day as a business owner, we're talking to clients, it needs to be revenue generating. If they're not already a client, that'd be customer service team, right? It needs to be revenue generating. Otherwise, why are you talking to them? Respectfully. Okay. I promise to keep this under 40. So let's go ahead and let's wrap this up. I'm gonna put a summary slide in here. Listen, I'm not perfect. I'm willing to grow. Summary slide. What do we do? Automate. Have a questionnaire. So automate your calendar. Number two, have a questionnaire, right? Number three, have a specific purpose for the call. All right, we use the question path to help create a consistent sales process so we can get consistent results and hear yes more often. That means I can delegate it to a sales team. I can assign that task to someone else in the business. So I have my time back as the business owner. I can't cover everything in a webinar, even in a 60-minute webinar. So what I've done is two things. Create a digital course out, fill in the blanks, some other tools, some example questions, etc., so that you can have a little bit more detail specific to your business. And then a live workshop. I like digital courses because you can watch it at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Doesn't matter to me. You watch from the beach, you watch from your bed. But there's something to be said for being able to ask questions. There's something to be said for being able to say, you know what, Bruce, how does this work in my scenario? Right? Maybe you sell CBD. I don't know. That's where having a live resource comes in handy. So what I've done, everyone that grabs a pre-order the digital course, I've created a live workshop so you can ask those questions and we'll go over specifics for your business. All right. So what's beautiful about the combination is you get all the info, you don't have to rush through it, and you have a chance to ask questions to fill any blanks that maybe I didn't even think about including, right? So you get the best of both worlds. And the pre-sale price is beautiful because I want to give you the chance to tap in early. That should be on the screen now. So that you can take advantage, get the most value, most bang for your buck. And actually, depending on you're watching this, the next one coming up is the 30th of July, 2022. I may do a second session on the 31st. I have some friends that go to church on Saturday, so created a second session, just trying to be as accommodating as possible. If you are watching this after the 30th of July, don't panic. We will set up new dates soon. Goal is to have these monthly or as demand requested. Our goal is to support you, help you win. We want to make sure that we're spending more time growing our business than we are working on our business. Yeah. What was that I said? We want you to grow your business, not to grow busier. I like that one. I might tweak that one later. One of the biggest things I can see service-based business, particularly my coaches, my consultants, I'm looking at you. We eliminate discovery calls. We give you more time to show up as your authentic self in more important areas of your business, not servicing the clients, right? That's operating in your gift. And I don't want you to take energy and mental capacity on discovery call to discovery call that don't turn into clients because now you've robbed yourself of being able to show up with your 100% for the clients who have paid. That's no good. We're not going to be able to scale that way. You'll get frustrated. You'll end up burnout. So eliminate discovery calls really is more than just a catchy slogan. It's more than just a nice phrase, a tweetable comment. It really is designed to help you grow your business without growing busier. All right. I'm Bruce Hill, New Skills, New You. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. I hope that you've taken some key gems to eliminate discovery calls to turn them into closing calls. And I'm cheering for your success. If you need help, reach out to me any social media platform, New Skills, New You. I'm looking forward to working with you.